So we're live. Today I'm live with Kate Hess from Cognomi, and this is my version of a Christmas jumper because I didn't have any Christmas jumpers, and I didn't tell Kate that we're going to be wearing Christmas jumpers.
I failed already.
No, you didn't. You didn't fail. Someone just told me that I had to wear these, and they're actually from last year for my festive networking. So I thought I'd put them on. Kate, it's so lovely to have you here. I've known Kate for quite some time. She did some mentoring for me. She's an amazing woman. And she set up this business called Cognomi. And I really want to talk to you, Kate, about Cognomi, about the work that you're doing, which I feel is like so needed and so important, about the community that you're building. And we all know that community is like one of those really big things and is so important. And actually, I was reading some of the Google digital trends last night, and they were talking about how community is obviously key, and also to talk about your crowdfunding campaign. So lots to talk about. But before we get started, I'd love for you to tell people that are listening or watching, what is Cognomi and why did you set it up?
Great, thanks, Emmy. So Cognomi has a vision to develop the mental fitness of the planet. I'm one of the co-founders, along with John and Tim, and the three of us came together, well, conceptually 6 or 7 years ago, but actually physically 3 years ago, to build Cognomi as an organization which supports the development of mental fitness across the world. Mental fitness is emotional and psychological well-being. When we set up Cognomi, obviously pre-pandemic, our intention was always to do this work virtually so that we could have scope and scale across the world. And we saw the value of a focus around mental fitness development, helping people understand what they're thinking, how they're feeling, how that's working for them and how that's getting in their way, in order to then choose to develop or to act differently. And we do that principally through a coaching approach. So a fantastic community across the world of wonderful professional and high quality coaches who help people as thinking partners to make choices and to choose to develop in areas of mental fitness, which I'd love to tell you more about.
Yeah, so a couple of things I'm already thinking is like, first of all, how did you find all these amazing coaches? Because you said you've got coaches in every, all around the world, and obviously they're handpicked by you. So how do you go about doing that? How and finding the right coaches for Cognomi that follow? Is there a process that you have with your mental fitness?
There is, yeah. So I've been working in coaching as a field for the last 30 years. So I have a network of coaches. I've trained many coaches myself to accredited levels. So I had a good connections and good network into coaches initially. Fundamentally, people who join our community share our values, share our purpose, also have an intention to support the mental fitness development of the world. We have a genuinely diverse community of coaches, and diversity, it comes from their professional qualification, their expertise. So some of them are therapists who are also coaches. Some of them are coaches who are then therapists. We have psychologists, we have counselors as well. So, and all other aspects of demographic diversity as well. Yes, they're handpicked, so they need to share our values. They always approach us actually to
that's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah. And yes, we have a model of mental fitness which we then expect people to be trained to use. We have a tool for coaching, our Cognosis tool, and so everybody that joins us as a mental fitness coach goes through our training program to become certified and expert in the use of the tool with their clients and with our clients.
So that's amazing. So basically, it's very interesting. You've got so many coaches coming to you because presumably, from a coach's point of view, it could be quite a lonely. Working on your own as an individual can be quite lonely, and we all want to be part of a community, don't we? So I suppose for them, you're offering them a community and also ongoing work.
Yeah.
So from a coach's point of view, it's a no-brainer. And from the client's point of view, they've got access to coaches with you who have all obviously, highly qualified, but you've got lots of different. So is there a difference? Everyone's doing this, following the same framework, but are you matching people based on their needs? How does it work? How do you decide? I don't know, say you go to a client, would they say, I've got 20 people that need coaching? Is that how it works? And then you would then identify which coach, how do you match the coach with the user, with the client?
Yeah. Great. So really important, because we're very proud of the fact that we can match perfectly, so we can get the right coach to the right client very quickly, actually. And the way we do that is in the selection of the coaches in the first place. So there's the diversity there. And by diversity, I'm talking about language capability, obviously any aspect of gender, age, but also specialism, expertise. So we have a technology platform which we've built over the last number of years. We've invested heavily to make sure that the platform is robust, it's proprietary to us, and it captures in there all of the aspects of the coach. So the coach, we know, what they've been trained in, what areas of expertise and interest they want to coach in, as well as everything about them and their qualities. So this is about human conversation. So the connection that they feel with their clients is where the chemistry sits and where the relationship builds. So we capture all of that on the platform, and then we hear from the client, what are they looking for? Is it particular functional expertise as well? Is it particular experience in an area of mental fitness, such as working with stress and anxiety, confidence, or relationship building? And then the technology, the algorithm matches them to the coach who is best suited for them, based on those two profiles coming together. There's also a human element to that. So, we rely on the technology to a great extent, but also we oversee it to make sure that chemistry is going to be there. And then once the coach and the client meet, if the chemistry isn't there, we can rematch them. But very confidently, 99% of the time, the match is there, and the coaching continues from there.
So you built this platform from scratch. So it sounds to me that, it's like, like I suppose any kind of matchmaking, like dating or anything, but there must be lots of platforms out there, but you've actually built your own proprietary technology, have you? That does that?
Yes, we have.
That's quite an undertaking, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And it was an essential part of the offering. So with that, not only do we perfectly match the coach to the client, but we also want to measure the impact of what we're doing. So the platform enables us to schedule sessions, to follow up sessions, to gain feedback on sessions and the experience that the client's having along the way, as well as to set goals. It also hosts a resource center so they can access resources along the way. This is about sustainable shifts and changes and helping people develop their performance and well-being. So it's not just a one-off interaction, it's often over a program of coaching. So it needed to be absolutely tailored to what we need it to be in order to do the best job for us. So it was an essential foundation of the organization, and really the first year we spent building the platform in order to then host the conversations. I just want to say one more thing about the community, because you talked about the community and it is my passion.
Yeah, that's so important, isn't it? The community side of it.
When we set up Cognomi, our intention was to bring together people in a movement in the community, not only sharing the values and purpose, which is essential, but also, as you said, wanting somewhere to belong. So coaches are very often working independently, and we recognize that creating a space and a network and a community for people to come and belong, but also to learn and grow together, was something that was missing in the coaching space. A lot of associate models, a lot of platforms that people could join, but we really have the intention of creating something very different and very special here. And that is what we have across our coach community. So they connect with each other, they network, but they're also supported through supervision and learning events. So they're growing with us as we grow, as well as feeling as though they belong to something. And we truly, when we talk about being a movement, we truly feel that, because we're all heading in the same direction.
So you're sort of answering two problems, aren't you? You've got these amazing coaches and you're bringing them together, giving them a sense of community, helping them with their own development and learning and being part of something. And then on the other side, you've got clients that, need that coaching and that help for people that are working in their business, and they might need that across the globe. And they also want to go somewhere they know that they've got trusted coaches. And so you're also providing a solution to them as well. So you've got two happy pieces of the puzzle, I suppose. So I think I mentioned this at the beginning. You're crowdfunding at the moment, and actually, I was just thinking as you were talking about that. So you're crowdfunding to raise money to scale and grow the business, and people who invest are investing in Cognomi, and that includes this proprietary tech platform that you've got, which is quite interesting, isn't it? Because it sounds to me that that's something that you've built, which is bespoke, which is a really valuable asset. But anyway, let's come back to the crowdfunding. Why did you decide to do crowdfunding? Because I suppose, you know, I understand you might need the money, but there's lots of ways that you can raise money, aren't there? Is there a particular reason? Talk to me a bit about the crowdfunding campaign, because I love hearing about this.
Yeah. So for us, it's an expression of community again. So we are about purpose. Everything we do is about the vision that we have and the purpose that we have to change the conversations across the planet and develop mental fitness for people worldwide. And so the best way to do that is to have an extension of our community and to really truly build a movement that others can be part of. So we're inviting investors to be part of that with us. It's important also to recognize that many of the coaches within our community are now also investors. So it was an opportunity to bring them closer and to feel even more part of what we're doing in order to grow from here. So, of course, it's a way of gaining investment to then invest in the business. And our intention, therefore, is to be able to use the investment to grow and to scale and to put more behind marketing to make sure that people know that we're there, to grow the brand. Because so far, inevitably, with any small and growing business, there's a lot through networks, there's a lot through referral, there's a lot of very happy clients who are coming back to us and continuing to work with us. But to scale, we need to be known much wider, and we need to get the message out there. So it's the majority of the investments going into marketing and business.
Yeah, I love that, because I'm just going to say, you know, you've got to invest in yourself, in your business, and you know, marketing is an investment, and it's so, you know, it's so good to hear you talk about that, because I think to some people marketing is a cost, but obviously, as you said, you've got to a great point through all your network and referrals. And you know, I'd love to talk to you a bit in a minute about what, you know, where you've managed to get to without spending huge amounts of money on sort of marketing. But obviously, in order to get that brand awareness, and in order for more people to hear the Cognomi name and to understand the capabilities and what you can do, you do have to invest in marketing. And obviously, obviously you're going to get, you know, funding from your crowdfunding campaign, but what you're also saying is you're getting this added benefit of building a community through the crowdfunding. And I love that the coaches are investing, because that tells you that they really believe in it and they're a long-term part of it as well.
Yeah.
So just what, and something that you keep talking about is coaching for the planet. So this really is a global movement that you hope is going to be, you know, everywhere. Is that right?
Completely. And our intention is to make what we offer available to everyone wherever they are. I guess the only limitation at some point will be an internet connection, because you know, it's working virtually. And that is, you know, we're already moving in that direction. We have numerous global clients across the private sector, but also the non-for-profit sector. And in the UK, we're also working in the public sector with the NHS. So we already have reach. And we already have the community, which supports that global reach. But what we've seen over the past almost 2 years with the pandemic is such a accelerated opportunity. So remembering we founded Cognomi before pandemic, we always intended it to be virtual, and it always has been virtual. We always knew there was a space for mental fitness development and the global community. And in the last 2 years, we just see the acceleration of this opportunity. And we need to let people know that we're here and be part of that.
It is so exciting. And I think, you know, you're getting funding and you've already got significant traction. So how many coaches have you got on board? Or is that a secret?
Is it a secret? We have a global community of over 350 coaches who are.
That's amazing. That's incredible. And another thing I was interested to find out. So you know, you've got traction, haven't you? To have 350 coaches that you know, ticked all the boxes, that have gone through their mental fitness training and that are available to coach. That is huge. I'm interested to know how in 2 years, how you've managed to get to working with, you know, some big public companies, private sector companies, not for profits, because that is quite a task in itself, isn't it? I mean, some of those relationships take quite some time to convert into becoming clients. I know that, because it's not just, there's a lot of, I think when you're the larger the business you're selling to, the more time it often takes to convert the sale or to get them on board.
Yeah, definitely. And, part of this is about how we build relationships, of course. We're all about human conversations. So we model that in the way that we work with our clients as well. Collaboration is often talked about, but to us, it's an absolute principle and value of the way that we interact with each other, but also, of course, with our clients as well. We see ourselves as partners. We see ourselves as collaborators. We see ourselves as trusted advisors and thinking partners. And then there are customers and we're their suppliers. And it might sound a bit cliche, but that is absolutely core to who we are and what we're about. And that's why we've built the relationships and sustained the relationships over time. We get to know the clients and we support them and we are part of what they offer. We become part of their fabric in a way as we work with them.
And I suppose for someone working in HR who is looking after the mental well-being of their employees, there's a real, you've got to be so confident about who you're bringing in. There's a responsibility, isn't there, to bring the right partner in. So I suppose once you're in there, and you come recommended, there's real scope to grow, isn't there, and to help them within their other territories and to grow that relationship. So have you got clients? Have you got any clients that you could share, like names or places? I'd love to know. Or is I don't know if that's secret stuff. So if I'm asking you stuff I shouldn't ask you, just tell me no.
Yeah, no, we can talk generally and somewhat specifically as well. So on a global basis, we're working with Deloitte. We are a preferred coaching partner with Deloitte. We're also working with LVMH under Sephora, which is a global beauty brand.
Cool, yeah.
And numerous pharmaceutical companies as well. We're also working in the non-for-profit sector, which I'm really excited about and feel privileged that we're working there. So working with a couple of NGOs and on a global basis and scaling all the time. And we've also just started working with a global entertainment organization, looking at unlimited coaching, so over a 6-month period. So quite a test, really, in a way, but as much coaching as the individuals want to access.
I love that. I love that. I think I'd be having daily coaching at the beginning, but then I probably, but I suppose that's the thing, isn't it? You would have coaching up to the point that you feel you've had enough.
And this is all about helping people be more aware and take responsibility and choice. So ideally, the coach becomes redundant, essentially, because the individual starts doing the thinking for themselves. The coach is there to facilitate that shift. And so our intention is that, we may have a number of sessions over a program, maybe over 6 months, but after that, the individual will be much more self-sufficient, and the coach will be less required in some ways, maybe come back for some refresher coaching.
I think that's such a good gift that your employees could give you. I'm kind of thinking, like, I have had a bit of a struggle mentally this last year with various things, and I kind of always thought that because I did my mindfulness and my gratitude and all those things, I didn't think I was immune to it, but I kind of felt like I was really mentally strong. And then I suppose something can just come out of nowhere and knock you sideways. And I honestly don't know how I'd have coped if I had actually had to go into work. But I suppose with Cognomi, the businesses that you're working with are investing with their employees so that they have had this, they've got this training, they've almost got those resources, so that they are mentally fit and that they are able to cope more. Is that right? And so that they're less likely to suffer from mental well-being issues? Or is it there's just that if they are having issues, there's someone there, or they've got the tools in the box to sort of help them?
Yeah, it's both, but it's principally that what we're doing here is having proactive conversations to enable people to understand what they're thinking and feeling in time, that they can reflect on it and take more control over it, if you understand, make choices around it. Everyone has mental health. It's very easy to stigmatize mental health, but if we can accept that it doesn't need to be, I would use the word pathologized. So, anxiety is there for a reason. So if we accept that as a starting point and work with it, rather than internalizing it, being even more anxious about it, it becomes a spiral. But if we can talk to someone who can help us gain perspective on that and find some strategies around how to work with that, then we can proactively essentially prevent things like, you know, stress becoming too much or anxiety becoming too much and the burnout that's happening. But the other really interesting area right now is around fulfillment and passion and motivation. And that's sort of the work that we're doing right now, because you'll have probably heard about the Great Resignation that everybody's talking about, and that this problem about retention, because so many people right now are taking stock and saying, you know, we've had 2 years of this. Do I actually want to still be in this job, or do I want to? Yesterday, I was talking to someone who was going to go off and be a yoga teacher instead of working in the corporate environment. People are starting to think about, what are my values? Where's my meaning and purpose? And actually, when organizations embrace that and give their team members the opportunity to explore, how do I fulfill my meaning and purpose here? And how do I find passion in the work I'm doing? How do I stay motivated and fulfilled? Then it's a hugely beneficial retention tool for organizations as well. And that's a lot of the conversation that we're having.
And that's so important, isn't it? Because we're at work. Well, for a lot of people, we're at work for a huge part of our week. And I know, I remember the days when you love I love my job at the moment, so I jump out of bed and I love it, and I feel blessed for that. But I do remember going to jobs where I just hated it, and I'd literally be counting down the clock to like 10:30 when I could go outside and have a little break, and then at lunchtime I could go for my swim, and then and that's just not great, is it? You know, I think or hopefully, and I think the way that things are going is employers are really understanding that they're, you know, the people that work from their teams are so important, and their mental well-being so important. And honestly, like, I think what you're doing at Cognomi is amazing. So we do keep these short and sweet. I just want to say thank you so much for coming on. Best of luck with your crowdfunding campaign, because it's much needed. And I have to say, I am an investor, so you know, but that's because I really believe in what you're doing. And I just wanted to say, have a fantastic week, and thank you for coming on, Kate.
Thank you so much. I'll wear my antlers next time. Thanks, Emily.